Throughout Earth's long history, countless creatures have come and gone. But what if some of them didn't stay gone forever? From ancient birds soaring through today's skies to prehistoric sharks lurking deep in the ocean, these animals somehow survived extinction and were even captured on camera. Take the black-naped pheasant pigeon, for example. It hadn't been seen in over 140 years and was believed to be extinct. But in 2022, a possible sighting on Ferguson Island in Papua New Guinea sparked a research mission. Scientists headed to the island, and to their amazement, they found it. The bird was officially confirmed alive. A stunning comeback. Then there's the case of a strange flying creature spotted in Idaho in 2022. Some people believe it looked like a pterosaur, a flying reptile that lived alongside dinosaurs and supposedly disappeared 65 million years ago. The footage caught attention because the animal didn't resemble any known bird today. In 2015, ornithologist Dr. Steve Murphy set out to find a bird that hadn't been seen for a century. The night parrot. It's one of only 3 species of ground-dwelling parrots. Against the odds, he managed to spot, study, and release it back into the wild. Another rare sighting happened in 2023 at Wyoming State Park, where 2 white bison were seen grazing together. That's extraordinary, since only 1 in a million bison are born with this coloring, without being albino. And finally, we have a truly unusual animal, a white alligator that isn't albino.
Isn't that great?
It's amazing. Beautiful animal.
I wonder if I can get him to stand up with you.
Its pale skin and blue eyes come from a unique genetic trait, not albinism. These creatures are incredibly rare and stunning to see in real life. Now, what makes this big guy extra special is that there are only 2 other white alligators with blue eyes known to exist on the planet.
Stand up. Stand up, Trazo. Stand up. Look at that.
That low growl you're hearing? That's the sound they make when they're not too happy. It's wild to witness something so rare up close. In Bolivia's CA Park, tourists came across something truly incredible: 2 chowan peccaries. At first glance, they might look like wild hogs, but these animals are actually among the rarest mammals on Earth. Spotting even 1 in your lifetime is lucky. 2 is almost unheard of. Moving on to Africa, there's a fish called the mottled beach ear, native to the central Congo River.
He was wild caught somewhere in Africa and made his way all the way through the pet trade to this store.
In its usual form, it's not too rare, but one version is. A completely albino mottled beach ear was spotted in a pet store, and it's believed to be the only one of its kind in the entire world. It's pretty heartbreaking to see such a unique creature in a tank instead of its natural habitat.
Albino African lungfish, also wild caught, but they pop up occasionally. Oh man, he's moving. Gonna try to hide his head under the filter.
Let's talk reptiles for a second. The Volzkov's chameleon, named after German zoologist Alfred Volzkow, hadn't been seen in over a century, until 2018. That year, scientists not only rediscovered this long-lost species in Madagascar, but they also found a female for the very first time. Before that, only males had ever been documented. It was a huge moment in the world of conservation. And up in Nova Scotia in 2020, lobster fisherman A.J. Francis made a once-in-a-lifetime catch.
Lobster season in Pictou Landing, Nova Scotia had to be delayed due to COVID-19, but the albino lobster is now all area fishermen are talking about.
A 100% albino lobster. These pale lobsters aren't just beautiful, they're extremely rare, with odds estimated at 1 in a million. It's like hitting the jackpot, but in the ocean.
Their shells due to a genetic condition called leucism. It's the only lobster that won't turn red if it's boiled because it doesn't contain any pigments at all.
In eastern India, there's a small, isolated group of tigers living with no connection to other tiger populations. Because of this inbreeding, a new kind of tiger appeared, the black tiger. These tigers have a unique dark coat caused by a single genetic mutation. Right now, only about 10 black tigers exist, and all of them are found in India. Sometimes in nature, you come across something so strange it almost seems unreal. That's exactly what happened when people spotted a huge, mysterious creature floating just beneath the surface of a lake. Its shape resembled a massive chunk of metal, but some believe it could be the legendary Loch Ness Monster. Whether it's fact or fiction, the sighting stirred up a lot of buzz. In 2022, wildlife experts in Queensland, Australia, found something truly special: a white-backed koala. But what made this one interesting was that it wasn't an albino. The pale coloring was due to a rare genetic quirk. While being white can be risky for koalas, since it makes them easier to spot by predators, this little one will actually turn gray again as it grows. Now, take a look at this cheetah. Unlike the usual spotted pattern, this one has bold black stripes and blotches. It's called a king cheetah, and it gets its look from a rare mutation. These majestic animals are extremely rare, with only about 10 in the wild and 50 in captivity. And finally, from a remote island in West Papua, hidden camera traps captured something incredible. A sighting of the elusive Wagyu brush turkey. This bird is one of the most secretive species in Indonesia, and spotting one in the wild is a major achievement for researchers. This rare bird, the Wagyu brush turkey, isn't just hard to find. Sadly, its situation is getting worse. Due to habitat loss and other threats, it was recently classified as an endangered species, making sightings even more significant.
Okay, that's a pink praying mantis.
Now, praying mantises are already pretty fascinating, but imagine one that looks like a flower. Meet the orchid mantis, a stunning insect found in the tropical forests of Southeast Asia.
Oh, there he is.
That's all work, huh? What is this stuff called?
Yeah.
Its body is pink and white, and it can change shades to match flowers, making it nearly invisible to both predators and prey. With 6 legs and delicate features, it's one of the most elegant hunters in the insect world. In 2021, a zoo in Russia made global headlines after something amazing happened. A pure white albino wallaby was born. This little one was a true rarity, born about 800 kilometers from Moscow. Only 1 in 100,000 wallabies are born with albinism, making this birth an incredibly rare event.
Guys, we have come across the strangest thing. I actually think this baby is blind. Do you see the color of the eyes there? I'm having the...
Speaking of albino animals, take a look at this albino elephant spotted in the wild. But this baby is different. It has a mix of features. While its eyes and legs show the classic signs of albinism with pale pink coloring, its skin has started to turn gray as it gets older. It's likely that the elephant is partially albino, and some believe it may even be blind based on the color of its eyes. Regardless, seeing something like this in the wild is beyond rare. You can clearly see the soft pink tones.
I'm figuring out it does have pupils. I have never, in 11 years of guiding, ever seen anything like that.
This young elephant is albino. Albino elephants are incredibly rare in the wild, making sightings like this truly special. Now let's talk about something from the ocean depths, the blue lobster.
I'm gonna let it go back. Oh, what a pretty looking white underneath, blue.
These creatures are so rare that the chances of catching one are about 1 in 200 million. But what makes this one even more remarkable? It's a female, and according to the fisherman, she's likely been caught before and released, so he decided to let her go again. Unlike the usual blue-tinted lobsters raised in aquariums through selective breeding, this one is completely naturally blue, found in the wild. From the sea to the streets of the Philippines, where a tourist stumbled upon something incredibly unusual, a male calico cat. Most calico cats are female, and only 1 in every 3,000 born is male. This rare trait comes from a genetic condition involving an extra X chromosome. Sadly, it often comes with some health complications for the cat. Speaking of rare males, here's a striking white peacock. Although it looks albino, it's actually not. This bird's pure white feathers come from a genetic mutation that blocks melanin. But since it's not true albinism, the bird still keeps its normal colored eyes. Now to something truly historic. The animal in this footage might look like a dog or a wolf, but it's neither. It's the Tasmanian tiger, also known as the thylacine. Once native to Australia, this creature officially went extinct in 1936. What you're seeing is colorized footage of the last known individual, captured in a zoo. Today, scientists are exploring ways to bring the species back through cloning and genetic science. In Australia, a wildlife enthusiast captured something few people will ever see: an albino crow. These birds are incredibly rare, with only 1 albino for every 1,000 regular crows. Without melanin, they develop white feathers, pink eyes, and even pale legs and beaks, giving them a ghostly and unforgettable appearance. In August 2017, passengers aboard the Ocean Freedom cruise were treated to a jaw-dropping sight: an all-white humpback whale breaking the surface of the water. This wasn't just any whale, it was Migaloo, one of the only known white humpbacks in the world. First spotted in 1991 off the coast of Australia, Migaloo is one of just 2 white whales that make the long journey from Antarctica up the east coast of Australia each year. Jumping to 2019 in Toronto, residents were calling wildlife control to deal with raccoons causing chaos in their neighborhoods. But when help arrived, they discovered something extremely rare.
So this guy was sitting in the corner, and then his brother or sister, this bigger one.
Albino raccoons. These creatures are so rare that you're actually 50 times more likely to be struck by lightning than to see one in the wild. To make it even more unbelievable, 2 albino siblings were found in the same area. Next up is something truly magical from the forests of British Columbia, Canada. You're looking at a Kermode bear, also known as the spirit bear. These bears are a subspecies of the black bear, but thanks to a recessive gene, some are born with a creamy white coat. There are only about 500 of these bears in existence, making them one of the rarest mammals in North America. In Rock City, Georgia, lives an incredibly rare animal, the only known albino barred owl in the United States. With completely white feathers and pink eyes, this owl lacks all pigment.
Human care here in the United States. And Tori's rather lucky because he was found in the Smoky Mountains at the base of a tree. He was found by some hikers. He was being severely harassed by
a condition that makes it hard to survive in the wild due to its high visibility. Luckily, this one was rescued from the Smoky Mountains and now lives under human care. And finally, in October 2021, a miracle happened at an animal reserve in Spain. 2 white African lion cubs were born. Despite their snowy coats, these cubs aren't albino. Their color is the result of a rare genetic trait found in lions from the Timbavati region near South Africa's Kruger National Park. These majestic animals are incredibly rare and symbolize hope for the survival of their unique bloodline.